Welcome in, and welcome back to the Down South Philly Show. I am your host, DP. Don will be joining us a little later on today. We got a lot to talk about today. How y'all feeling? Before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we got going on today, I want to do a few housekeeping rules. First of all, this stream, this stream right here, is powered by none other than the Sports Lounge Media. That's right. And to all my family on TikTok, we are streaming on multiple platforms tonight. Unfortunately, I can't see the TikTok chat. So if you want to be a part of this conversation, we come on over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube, get in the conversation and chop it up with me today. The first thing, we had a lot happen since last week. The biggest piece of news that we had was, hey, the tush push lives on. That's right. We got graphics tonight. We got graphics. We moving on up in the world. Yeah, let's talk about the tush push a little bit and the fact that one, this was the second time that it was undervote. The first time they split down the middle, 16-16, so they decided to table it. There were some reports actually that said the Packers were the ones that filed a complaint to have it brought back to the table, or I forget exactly what it is, but the Packers were a scapegoat basically. Um, they're saying that basically the commissioner, maybe some owners, kind of use the Packers as a scapegoat to kind of say, hey, they're the ones, it was their idea to put in the complaint to change some rules to basically ban the way that we do the tush push. Ultimately, it was all for naught. There was a vote of 22-10, which means that we was 2 votes away from our version of the quarterback sneak being out of the game this year. For one, I mean, I can't lie, I'm happy about it. I wouldn't have been torn up about it being taken out of the game in general. The only thing that I have a problem with is that it really only would have affected us just because we the only ones to do it the way that we do it. Um, and it's virtually unstoppable when we do it right. Why? Because we got one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the game, one of the biggest offensive lines in the game. Um, Jalen Hurts is one of the stronger quarterbacks, and I think he has the perfect build to make the tush push successful. So you combine all of that, and you got something that's kind of unstoppable. But hey, it is what it is. They decided that it's still going to be in the NFL this year, and I feel like we should run it until the wheels fall off. So I'm happy with the decision to keep it in the game, but it's just a little funny that I can't really knock anybody for wanting it out of the game, right? The goal is to make your competition weaker, and it just seems as that's exactly what it is. When you look at the list of all of the teams that voted against it, um, majority of them obviously was all the division, and then you had most NFC teams that wanted it out of the game for obvious reasons, right? They got to go through us to get through the NFC, and we the ones at the top. So why not? Why not ban it, right? So it is what it is with that. The next order of business that we got before we get to the main course today, it came out, the Pro Football Focus rankings for the top 10 wide receivers. So take a look at this list and tell me if anybody deserves to be in. Would you take anybody out? I, for one, think the list is kind of self-explanatory to me. Um, I've always felt like AJ Brown was one of the top 3 wide receivers in the game. Even as an Eagles fan, I don't necessarily know if I would have put him number 1, but I definitely would have him 2 or 3. So for me, the top 3 will stay the same. I probably would put, interchangeable Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. That would be my only change from that part. Then you go down to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, he get busy. He's in a small market in Detroit, but let's not kid ourselves. He's a playmaker. He can give you what you need on the inside. He can move out to the outside. He's just a dog. Puka Nacua is definitely a little underrated, but I don't think I would put Puka over CeeDee Lamb. I wouldn't put him over Tyreek Hill. I probably would put Puka at 10 on this list, to be honest. CeeDee Lamb deserves to be up toward that four top five spot for me. He's definitely I was one of the ones that kind of felt like he wasn't necessarily a one when he came in, but hey, he proved me wrong, and I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. When he came in, he was more of a slot guy. I can't even say he was a slot guy. He was just utilized more in the slot, and he was nasty in the slot. But what remained to be seen was he gonna be that number one guy? And he ended up being, proving that, and then some. He ended up being the whole offense for the Cowboys the past 2 years, so he definitely can hold his own. And I would probably put him at number 4 on the list. Honestly, I would put CeeDee Lamb. Where y'all put CeeDee Lamb in y'all top 10? I know Cowboys fans will put him above AJ Brown. And we had this conversation last week. When it comes to AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb, really they're interchangeable. They both number one wide receivers. They top dogs. They can give you what you need on the inside and on the outside. In my personal opinion, AJ has better hands and he's a more physical wide receiver. When it comes to CeeDee Lamb, he's faster. He's got more game speed and better route running. AJ, let's see. Philly 24. What you got for me today? AJ Brown just feels different to me compared to these other wide receivers. Better in that way, but physicality and yak is amazing. Yeah. Um, AJ is a dog, man. Like I said, when you comparing him to a CeeDee Lamb, more of a physical wide receiver. And in my opinion, just being a Philly fan, if I took that out of it, when he was in Tennessee, he was still a dog. It's just the best of both worlds that we was able to trade for him when we did, and he just took his game to a whole nother level. So shout out to this list. I usually don't even agree with Pro Football Focus, but on this one, they was right, in my opinion. At least with the not necessarily the order of the list, but the top 10. I don't know who you would take out. So hop in the chat and let me know who you would take out of this list, if any, or just give me your top 10 order. Even me, I wouldn't necessarily put AJ as number 1. Like I said, I got him top 3, maybe 2, depending on the circumstance. But necessary, I wouldn't say you wrong if you put him number 1. I ain't gonna fight you on that one. Let's see what else we had go on last week. Oh, it's been talks that it's gonna be a new um rule request with the CBA agreement in 2029 or 2030. Whenever the new CBA is scheduled to meet, they actually gonna try to change the way they do business. And I think that it's funny that everything that benefits the Eagles is always put under a microscope and potentially taken out of the game. So first you had in 2022 the way we ran the the way we ran the RPO game. And we were super successful with it. Nobody could really stop it. They kind of tweaked that rule, and you notice that they put a focus on um offensive lineman downfield. So they killed us with that all last year and the year before. Um, Pretty much trying to stop the way that we run the RPO, right? Then they turn around and now they have a problem with the tush push and how we do it. And because we won a Super Bowl, um, you got to take it out. It's a rugby play. It's not football. It's boring to watch. More bull. Now they talking about the way that we even do our contracts. So if you're not privy to how the Philadelphia Eagles in the front office run their business, a lot of their contracts are backloaded, which means that Jeffrey Lurie is one of the only owners that's willing to pay that money up front, give in signing bonuses to the players that allows them to get a large chunk of the money up front and then push the rest on the back end, keeping the cap number low. It's been successful, for the better part of the whole time they've been running things here in Philadelphia. Um, Very smart. I don't know why more owners don't run their front office or contracts like that. But with that being said, there's been talks that they're going to discuss making it more fair and tweaking some things to kind of keep teams from those kind of loopholes, I guess. But it's just funny that it seems that everything that the Eagles are successful with is put under a microscope or in a way that it is going to be taken out of the league if we keep, benefiting from it. It's not like the other 31 teams can't benefit from it, but it's just funny to me that because the Eagles benefit from it, it's no good for the league. Um, that's interesting to me. Tell me what y'all think about that. And again, to all my TikTok fam, if you want to be involved in this conversation, I can't see that chat for the stream that I'm using. So just hop on over to YouTube and become a part of the conversation. Down South Philly Show. So the meat and potatoes of what we got going on today. I know I got to talk about that bad man, uh, Jalen Hurts, QB1 here in Philadelphia. So this is Pro Football Focus top 8 quarterbacks. Um, I really don't have a whole lot wrong with the list. Let me go with where Hurts is on the list. If you can put him in your top 5, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Um, it's hard for me to keep him out of a top 5 ranking. And I know it's a lot of people, especially outside of Philly, that believe that he might not even, necessarily be in the top 10. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, he can make every throw. His read progression is just as good, as any quarterback. He's not the fastest quarterback, but he can give you he tore KC up in the Super Bowl. Um, and just a winner and a overall killer when it comes to, that gotta have it plays. When it's a gotta have it play, I can always count on QB1 to make the play. Um, for whatever reason, he's had the most playoff success against Pat Mahomes. Um, Joe Burrow, hell of a quarterback. Lamar Jackson, hell of a quarterback. Josh Allen, hell of a quarterback. I'm not mad if you put those 4 quarterbacks over him, but I think that's my limit. Where I think things get interesting is with Jaden Daniels. Um, he had a hell of a rookie year, but I just don't know if I'm ready to put a guy that's that young in the top 8 or the top 10. Now, are we saying that his quarterback play was that? Now, he was phenomenal. Took his team all the way to the NFC Championship. But it's just 1 year, right? I got to see more, and I wouldn't necessarily have him in my top 10 merely based off the fact that I got to see more. Um, Matthew Stafford got no problem with him being in the top 8. We know what he give you, Super Bowl champion. Herbert, that's another one. Let's see. We got another comment when it comes to Herbert. People rank Herbert off hypotheticals. I know he has talent and has had good statistical seasons, but people ignore his playoff stats. Exactly. That's a really good point. When it comes to Herbert, um, he throws a pretty ball. He throws a pretty ball, and oftentimes it turns into a pretty interception. When he gets to the playoffs, he plays super small. I'm not going to necessarily kill him a lot because that's ultimately winning is a team thing. But I've seen him fold way more with the ball in his hands than you would like to see out of your guy, right? Um, that 4 interception game against Jacksonville in the playoffs, that sticks out to me. He crumbled last year in the playoffs. To be honest, now he hasn't had the best weapons. I get that. I get that. But the people that tell me that number one or franchise guys have to make things happen without without number one weapons or without their top weapons, which I don't necessarily believe, but that's what I'm told. I'm told that top guys do it with anybody on the outside, which I just don't subscribe to. But Herbert, I probably wouldn't even put him in my top 10 just because one, I just don't believe that I got to see more out of Herbert. I've seen him make some great plays, but when it comes down to it, he fold in the playoffs, and that's a major red flag to me. So this year right here, I think this is a make or break year for me. For Herbert, Lamar Jackson, he has a squad this year. He don't have no excuses. I feel like if he don't get it done this year, hey, when it comes to when it comes to questioning him being, one of the greats, uh, you gotta question his getting it done. This year right here, he got an excellent opportunity. Defense gonna be loaded. He pretty much got all his starters returning on the offensive side of the ball. So let's see what he do. Can he finally get over the hump and beat Pat? Let's see. Last year he folded in the playoffs, and he normally does that. He normally folds in the playoffs for whatever reason. Um, amazing, amazing. Now it's interesting on this list that you don't see 9 and 10. I would put, if we just go on regular season, which this list kind of looks something like regular season as well. Um, you gotta put Langston Terrace TV was good. Okay, what you talking about? What we talking about? Um, I feel like you got to put Dak in that top 10. I would put him right at 10, actually. Um, for what I'll say what you want to say about him in the playoffs. I know he another one of them guys that folds in the playoffs. But when he's healthy, he is one of the best regular season quarterbacks that we got in the league. And we can't act like he not. Welcome into the conversation. Um, Let me know how you feel about this top 8 list. Who would you take out of this list? Who would you add to this list? Would you move somebody up the list? Tell me how you feel about the list. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to QB1 Jalen Hurts is, let's see, we talking about Stroud at 9. I'm not mad at Stroud at 9. Stroud a dog. Where would you put Kelso? Where would you put Dak? Period. When it comes to oh, my boy Dom entered the chat.
Give us something else, man. Give him one of them toys. What's going on?
What's good with you? We just
Same
we
old,
just
same
talking.
old on Tuesday.
We just talking about this QB rankings. I don't know if you can see it on your end, but if it's anything on this top 8 list that you would change, would you add anything? You got anybody moving up or down the list? Give me your
Yeah,
thoughts on the
put
ranking.
Jalen Hurts at number 2.
Okay, okay. I ain't
Then
mad at that.
you, keep the rest of the list the same after that. Like move everybody that else down.
Move everybody else down. Okay.
Hold on, let me look at
How
the
you
last.
feel?
Let me look at what's the last one. Oh, Herbert. Herbert
Yeah.
shouldn't even be on the list. Let me add that on
Yeah.
there. Take Herbert off the list. Take Jaden Daniels off the list. I'm not putting nobody who only played one season. I mean, if they want to go, I would say if they want to go off last season, yeah. But if you want to go off last season, then how the hell Joe Burrow too?
Right. Right.
So clearly they ain't going off last season. If they was going off last season, you got to put Pat Mahomes and Jalen 1 and 2.
Hey, I ain't got no problems with it. We
Herbert
got.
can't even be on the list, and I'm not putting Jaden Daniels on the list like I said because he only played one season.
Yep. That's what I said before you got in here. Same thing.
Boy
Now we
could
got.
fly. Boy, I mean he ain't no guarantee that he gonna be good or bad. We
Yeah.
seen
We
one
don't
season
know.
out
We
this
don't know
man.
what he is yet.
Yeah, we don't know what he is. It's just like if somebody have a bad season. I don't hold quarterbacks to a bad season. If quarterback your rookie year, you have a bad season. I'm not holding you to that. Now you got something to prove, but
Hmm.
I'm not putting you in that box of if you a bad quarterback. Hey, you
Like
had a
Caleb
bad season.
Williams.
Caleb Williams. I'm not saying I'm not going. A lot of people don't like Caleb Williams. I don't know what Caleb Williams is yet. He got to develop. Now, I personally didn't really care too much for him when he was in college, but I mean, I'm not gonna carry that into the NFL. I'm just gonna let him be what he gonna be in the NFL and judge him off that.
Hmm.
But
I agree. We got a question. We got a question in the chat to say, do we think Brock Purdy was overpaid? I don't. I think I
nah,
think that's just the going rate. He was up next.
yeah, I think paying quarterbacks ain't exactly like it. So back in the day, it's a lot of stuff ain't like it used to be. Like back in the day, you come in, you sitting on the bench, and then when you get next up, you get your chance or whatever. But as far as pay goes, I feel like a lot of times quarterbacks kind of got paid based on what they was doing.
Hmm.
Now it's kind of like, hey, whatever the going rate is, that's what you're gonna get paid, or you're gonna get somewhere paid somewhere kind of close to that. Um, you might not get paid better than like the number one guy if you Brock Purdy, but you're gonna get somewhere in the ballpark of probably a little bit over the average or whatever the salary is at that time. So I don't think they overpaid for Brock Purdy. And you're talking about somebody who went to a Super Bowl and somebody who went to an NFC Championship, and this is his first 2 years. A
Hmm.
lot of people like to hold the rest of the team. Like that don't make sense to me. A lot of people be like, "Hey, look at the team around, bruh. When I'm going to the table and it's time to pay me, we is not talking about the rest of the team around me. We talking
Right.
about what I did because you could put anybody else in that same position and they might fold. And at the end of the day, it don't even matter. This is what I've done so far since I've been in the NFL, and this is what I should be getting paid. Like we're gonna negotiate right around this number.
Facts.
Brock Purdy was not overpaid.
And it's crazy that it's this notion out there. Like every time a quarterback get paid, or any quarterback that's considered like one of the ones can do it without weapons. That's false to me. No quarterback in the game, including Patrick Mahomes, can do it without no weapons. Now, did Patrick Mahomes always have the top weapons? No, he didn't. But he always had Kelsey. Kelsey, until the past 2 years, was, I mean, even though he a tight end, he was his number one option and the best tight end in the game. And he had Tyreek Hill for a year or two. Outside of that, he ain't really had, the best weapons, but he had weapons. So that notion that a quarterback, a good quarterback is supposed to get it done no matter what, that's a false narrative to me.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody need help. Everybody need weapons. Hell, if everybody didn't need help, then most of these quarterbacks on this top list would have at least been to a Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Like you only got like what three quarterbacks on there that at least been to a Super Bowl. Two that
Hmm.
won. So I mean, if that was the case, then the rest of them guys, because every time you try to bring up why Jalen better than these dudes, a lot of them gonna try to point to um. Hold on, I'm passing this little. But yeah, a lot of them gonna try to point to Well, they're gonna try to take away from what Hurts did. Well, if Burrow was on the Eagles, but Burrow ain't on the Eagles, so we can go off what he did on the Bengals. You feel me? Lamar Jackson ain't on the Eagles. Everybody want to play that what if game. If Lamar was on it, we don't know what he'll do. In my opinion, what makes Jalen better than these dudes is his decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar got the same team every year when he goes to the playoffs that he won MVP with. But when he get into the playoffs,
Fold.
boy, fold like a Baker chair at the end of the night. You feel me? And I like Lamar. I've been wanting Lamar. I always said these last few years, I'm like, hey, if the Eagles ain't in the Super Bowl, I hope Lamar gonna get him a ring. I literally say that every year. If the Eagles ain't in the Super Bowl, get a ring. So I'm not a Lamar hater at all. But all I can go off of is what I see. A lot of people like Lamar so much and hate Jalen and the Eagles so much. They try to play that game of, and then a lot of people go off talent too. So a lot of people play that talent game. Well, Lamar's better than Hurts. Nah, Lamar's more talented than Hurts, but I don't think he's overall better quarterback. I don't think so. I think he's more talented, and I think he plays very well in the regular season. And when it comes to playoff time, I think the moment just a little bit too big for him sometimes. I feel the same way about that. I feel like that is a great regular season quarterback, and then in the playoffs, the moment just get too big for him sometimes. I don't know why. I'm not holding that against him. I can just tell you what I see. They've both done that consistently. When they get in the playoffs, they do not play like they played in the regular season. Like, people give them all this regular season praise, and then when they get to the postseason and they don't get the job done, people start making excuses. Nah, all season y'all been talking about the but Ravens gonna get it this year. Then as soon as they fell in the playoffs, they start talking about what he didn't have. What he did have was what he won MVP with all that season. Same thing with Dallas. We just seen Dallas have the top defense. I don't know how many times. We just seen the Ravens have the top defense or right around the top defense. I don't know how many times. So it's just some people can get it done, some can't. Now, not saying that Lamar won't win a Super Bowl in the future. I still think he can. Now, as far as that, hell no. But
hey, you got Goff in your top 10? Jared Goff.
golf. I would have to go through all the top 10. Let me look at the ones. Like, I would take Herbert off. I'm trying to think, is there anybody I would put up there instead of Herbert and Goff? Well, I'm basically taking two people off because I said no Jaden Daniels and no Herbert. So, and then this is only 8 quarterbacks. So yeah, Goff, as of these last 2 years, he probably would be in the top 10. I'm trying to think anybody else who would be up there. See, a lot of people like the whole stuff against people. Like, people probably still holding the Rams against Goff, even though he did go to the Super Bowl. But
now you know they holding it against. But
you very low on Jaden. Who are you talking about? I know you ain't
Jaden
talking about me
Daniels.
because
He basically saying that, and it might have been what I said before, but we basically were saying the same thing, saying that we don't even think that we don't know what Jaden Daniels is. He had a hell of a first season, but I wouldn't put him in my top 10 yet, just because he's, I still need to see more.
And I'm not saying, a lot of people might be thinking that because, like, we Eagles fans, but first off, it ain't like we discussed this before we got on here. It was like, hey, when we get on here, we both gonna say the same thing. Nah, we just happen to feel the same about that particular thing. But I feel like that about every quarterback. It's no quarterback that I'm gonna watch your rookie season and put you in the top 10. Maybe if you go to a Super Bowl and win it your rookie year, maybe.
Right.
But that could be a one-off. That could be a one-off. What I'm saying is I don't have enough data. A lot of people putting Jaden Daniels in their top 10, projecting of what they think his career gonna be. That's why if he fall off or have a bad year, a lot of y'all gonna crush him, and I'm not. That's the difference between me. A lot of people, y'all start putting people to high standards too early, and then when they don't live up to it, now y'all start bashing them. I don't do that. I just let them develop, and I judge off what I see. And so if he go out here and ball again 2 years in a row, all right, Jaden Daniels probably is top 10. He got 2 years back to back. Not to mention this, his first 2 years, all right, now we working with something. But I can't really put you in no top 10 off of one season. I don't care who you are. I'm not putting nobody in my. If you was If your only season I saw is your rookie season, I can't
I
put you
need
in
to
the
see
top 10.
more. I need to see more from you. So we got another one in the chat say, I think there's some criminally overpaid quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love who have had both time and weapons to prove themselves. Now, I'm with you 100% on Trevor Lawrence. I never was sold on Trevor Lawrence from the giddy up. And then when they paid him, they doubled down on their BS. So when it comes to Jordan Love, I'm still a fan of Jordan Love. I ain't gonna make no excuses for him. He just hadn't got it done yet. Now his wide receiver core been hurt. That matters. Um, and he had to go up against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. So
Yeah,
that's what happened this past year. So I mean,
yeah, that's
I'm
kind of
with I'm
like
with I'm with him on Trevor though.
Jordan. You already know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. I think them. I think they so doggone overrated. Boy, I never understand it. Like after them first two seasons, yeah. Now you
Hmm.
gotta show me something. He was just living off college hype. A lot of people see a
Hmm.
lot of these dudes get to live off their college hype or their rookie season hype. Like Justin Herbert, he's still living off rookie season hype.
Hmm.
Trevor
Still,
Lawrence, he's still living off college hype.
then got
Unfortunately,
paid off for it.
exactly. Unfortunately, Jalen, they treating Jalen Hurts the same way. They treating him based off of what he did in college. Because if they was basing it off what he did in the NFL, they'll be giving him his just due.
Hmm.
But a lot of people want to hold his college career against him. And a lot of people, like, if they have a take on a guy, they gonna hold on to that take. They gonna hold on to that take. A lot of people don't want to admit they was wrong about Jalen. And
Yeah, a
so
lot of people have a
with the
problem admitting.
NFL, it's so hard to win in the NFL that you can pick the field and you gonna be right nine
Hmm.
times out of ten, cause it's so hard to win in the NFL. You don't got to go with one person. You can just play the field, and it's probably gonna play out in your favor because it's so hard to win in the NFL. And
Facts.
people try to play the field on Hurts, and he proved them wrong. Man at first they said he'll never go to a Super Bowl. Went to a Super Bowl. All right, now we gonna have to say he'll never win a Super Bowl. Now he won one. Now they gonna come up with something else. Well, he ain't gonna win two. Or if Saquon this and man, look, Saquon was only there 1 year. Hurts been to the Super Bowl twice. If you want to put that season on Saquon, all right then. So what happened the first time he went to the Super Bowl and should have won that one?
Hmm. What's good, Rock the artist? We
But
got
yeah,
one in the chat.
I'm
We got
snatching
one
Justin
in the
Herbert
chat that
salary. Go ahead.
say that been playing with the Cowboys for 10 years and didn't go nowhere.
Man,
Yeah.
look, Dallas they had some great teams, man. I honestly, when they lost to Green Bay, and DP can attest to this, I thought that was a year they was gonna at least get to an NFC Championship. I
Hmm.
thought they had a great chance of going to the Super Bowl. Like I knew they would have to play San Fran. They probably got beat by San Fran. But I knew they had a great chance of going to the NFC Championship. I did not see them losing to Green Bay. I was like, dang, these boys ain't gonna lose to Green Bay. Man, you don't really see stuff like that happen to Philly like that. Not
Now,
no healthy team that been balling all season. We just gonna go in there and get buzzsawed by Green Bay. Nah. And then if the team that Dak had, if Jalen had that same team and he would have went to the NFC Championship or went to the Super Bowl, they would have been like, well, look at the team he had. I guarantee you, because their defense was balling out. Now that their defense didn't ball out in that Green Bay game, but they balled out all season.
it's only been 2 years where I actually was scared that Dallas was gonna bust grapes. The first year that Zeke got there, I thought they was going to the NFC Championship, and that year where they just got beat by Green Bay. Them 2 years right there in particular was the only 2 years I ever felt like, damn, they
Is that
could
the
actually go.
is that first season when Zeke got there? Is that the year they got beat by Green Bay in the playoffs?
Yep. Kryptonite. that was the famous
The Dez catch it.
yeah, did he catch it or not?
Yeah, the Dez catch.
So
With
he was carried. They said excuses with these haters. Yeah, they said Hurts was carried
nah,
last season.
nah, man. Look, it's the NFL, man. It's hard. It's hard to say that anybody really got carried, especially this day and age in the NFL. Maybe back in the day, they used to have like a mediocre quarterback, and you could have a really great defense, and you'll get there. But it's kind of hard to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that now. I don't think no, like a lot of people try to say Brock Purdy is. I don't think Brock Purdy was getting carried by that team. Now a lot of people will try to point to, well, he just had a bad season. Well, hell, everybody got hurt. If I get the ball to you,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't catch it, hell, it ain't my fault. And because a lot of people be like, hey, look, well, he need wide receivers. Yeah, he need wide receivers to catch the ball. It don't even matter. It don't got to be named wide receivers. I just need you to catch the ball. And if you can't do that, that's going to look bad on my performance. A lot of people try to hold that against Brock Purdy. But hell, if he had people out there that could catch the ball, then he would have had probably another good season.
Said Eagles had 2 number 1 wide receivers and a 2,000-yard running back and a top defense. It was a good team. Yeah, that was a good team.
Yeah, you supposed to put great
That's why.
in this NFL. Put some great teams together. That's what now even the Ravens that had some great. I just talked about that, but the Ravens they had some great teams, offense and defense. Now Lamar ain't really had no top name receivers, but hell, he had receivers that was catching the ball. You don't need to be top 10 to doggone catch the ball. You a receiver. You been playing receiver your whole life, and Lamar just got an MVP with you, so he can win with you in the postseason. I think one thing about Lamar is, and I think the Ravens in general, once they get to the playoffs, like they just play different than they play all season. And then I had been saying all season on the YouTube channel, I said all season, when the Ravens lose, it'll be because they didn't use their hearing enough, and they didn't use them enough. Lamar hit
Every time.
interceptions, fumbling the ball. You can't be turning the ball over in the postseason, man, and think you're gonna win. That's the difference between him and Hurts. Hurts don't really turn the ball over in the postseason. Hurts really play better. Like it's like the higher the stakes, the better Jalen gonna play. Like dang near every time, and that's including like college.
He a big gamer. But with that being said, where you got Hurts ranked in the division and in the conference?
Boy, I say this: if I got him number 2 on the list, you know I got him at in division number 1, baby. Cause who you gonna put over him? They already got him at number 5 over Jaden on this list. So how the hell Jaden gonna be the number 1 in the East? Well, but anyway, and he only played. I'm not putting nobody who played 1 year at the top. Nothing.
Can't
Like
do it.
Like even Jalen Carter, like when the first year we had Jalen Carter, he balled out. I didn't say he was the best D tackle in the league. Nah, he was looking like he could be, but we had to see it again. I'm not putting nobody who had one good rookie season at the top of nothing.
Okay.
But so I got Hurts at number 2 in I'm in number 2. I got him number 2 in the NFL, but I got him number 1 in the East and number 1 in the NFC. Who in the NFC? Ain't nobody in the NFC, man. So I don't even know who I would have in number 2 in the NFC. Who in the NFC? You know who need to be on this list? Take off Herbert. Take off Jaden. I might have to put. See, this is top 8. In my top 10,
it's the weird.
Yeah, in my top 10, I would probably have. Hold on, it's about to come to me. What's my dog name for the Bucks?
Oh, Mayfield.
That boy be balling, man. Hey, Mayfield might be. I'm trying to think who in the NFC. We got Dak. I actually like Dak game. I actually like that game.
Yeah, I put him right at 10. I put Dak right at 10.
Um, Let me see. I'm trying to think. I probably have Baker Mayfield probably in my top 10 for sure. I'm definitely snatching them two boys off here. Um, so I might have. I'm trying to think in who I would have at number 2 in the NFC. Might be Baker Mayfield. I can't really think of who over there. You know who don't really be. I know he was just injured, but who don't be doing a whole lot. Nobody really talk about him. It's like he kind of just skating under the radar, having a good career. Maybe people do talk about him. I don't see it, but Kyler Murray. It's like he was over there chilling, boy.
He well, you know, he was getting dragged for stuff that ain't even had nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's sneaky good. He running out of time though. He got some weapons over there. He need to go ahead and bust a great this year. Now he don't need to make it far, but he definitely need to make himself known because people forget about it. It's easy to forget about him.
Exactly. Cowboys fans talking about winning the NFC East and the Super Bowl.
What's
That
new?
ain't that new. They were doing that before. Yeah, they was doing that before Pickens got there, so it ain't that new. They do that every season. They were saying they was gonna have a good season last year until it happened. Yeah, Dak is getting up there, but quarterbacks play for a good little minute. So, and he don't rely a whole lot on his mobility. So he might still play for a minute. I think I wanted Dak to go to the Raiders, honestly.
Anywhere out of the East.
Yeah, I wanted Dak to go to the Raiders. I was gonna pull for him if he had a bet. The only reason why I don't pull for Dak now because he's a Cowboy. If he was like in the AFC, I'd be a Dak fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's better than Jalen, but see, this is my thing with Dak. I think he's a great regular season quarterback, and I think because you got two different kind of Cowboy fans. You got the Cowboy fans that praise him way too much, like he good, bro, but he ain't that good. Chill out. Then you got the Cowboy fans that be talking crazy about that, like he can't throw a golf ball or something. Like, man, come on. The man be balling out in the regular season. He just choking the postseason. But
yeah,
I think
it's a lot of quarterbacks that don't get it done.
Like, he top that top 15.
Yeah, I got him in that 10 to 15 category too.
Yeah,
now he proved me wrong. Because initially I wasn't really too much of a Dak fan, but he definitely, I would say, the past 3 years when he had that MVP caliber season, that was all it took for me to be like, oh yeah, he a good quarterback. They can win games with him. I don't know if they can win a championship with him, but they can win games.
Yeah, I think the only reason why they can't win a championship with him is not even 100% that. I think it's really the organization. Like if they would have had better, if they would have had a better like with the teams they had, if they had better like management and better like a better head coach and better like owner and stuff like that, GM, like they could have been at least in the NFC Championship or at least went to the Super Bowl with the teams they had. It was another season I think they was having a really good season too. It might have been Hurts' first year starting. I think they had a good season that season too. I think. Can't remember.
They did.
Yeah. They had some great teams now, and I think you see a lot of people. And when you look at this list and you look at the top 5, a lot of people think like you got to be one of these top 5 quarterbacks. Dude. Nah, if you got to be one of these top 5 quarterbacks and win the Super Bowl, hell, like I said before, they would have won it already. You just need to do what you need to do to win the game. A lot of teams get away from doing what they need to do to win the game because they trying to throw the ball too much or run the ball too much. Just do what you need to do to win the game. And I think that's what's great about Hurts. He gonna do what he need to do to win the game, regardless of how it looks.
Man, and on top of that, like it take a lot to win consistently, and it take a lot to win a championship. Like even with you could be the better team 1 through 53 and still lose on any given Sunday. So more times than not, that's what end up happening with teams. They, for whatever reason, they could be the better team, but just not the better team that night. Like for
Exactly.
whatever reason.
You're right. That's the difference between the NFL and the NBA. NBA 9 times out of 10, the better team gonna come out on top, unless it's like just because like an injury or something. Like how Golden State got sent packing. Curry was out the whole series, but okay. All right, but
I mean, that changed things.
the same thing with the NFL. Like it's whoever was the better team that night.
Let's see, for Langston, they said Dak is not 12-5 3 years in a row and no NFC East championship. Now, what I can say is he did contribute to them losses though. So he had a bad game against Green Bay 2 years ago, and then for whatever reason he can't get past the 49ers. Well, for one, it seemed like they don't never had no running game when it matters. Um,
That's why I said what I said.
yeah. And for two, just for whatever reason,
All right, so this how I'm looking at it. Like the Green Bay game, right? Now, you got to go in there and establish the run game. Two, if you already know how Dak is in the playoffs, you know, like, all right, we probably shouldn't be throwing the ball. Like, they be throwing the ball too much. Don't let Dak throw the ball. They let him throw when he need to throw. You throwing interceptions because he's throwing the ball too much. That's why I'm saying you can win with him, but sometimes it's how you call the game. Now,
that's what got Detroit beat last year.
Exactly, same thing. Yeah, it's a good example. Like sometimes, like you can win with these quarterbacks, but sometimes it's like how the play caller call the game. He's like a lot. Like think about it, it's a lot of times quarterbacks throw interceptions, and then if you really looking at it, you like, dang, they shouldn't even have been throwing the ball in that situation. Kind of like doggone Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Why the hell you? Why you throwing the ball, bro? Just run it. And then that's like, look, that's like them throwing the ball.
Yeah, I still like, even though I'm an Eagles fan, I still feel some kind of way about them not giving that ball to Marshawn. Cause why you ain't just run the ball? That I'll never be able to let that down. And I'm sure it's the same way for Seattle fans not being able to live that down. But I just like he hopping back in. Did he hop back in? Nah.
Like, you girl smacked the phone right out of my hand. But nah, what I was saying was that's like, because people be like, nah, you can't win with that, or you can't win with whoever. To me, that's like that Patriots game, that Patriots Seattle game. So boom, they throw an interception right there instead of running the ball. Let's say Russ never win a Super Bowl, and then people start being like, well, Russ can't win no Super Bowl. We see what happened in it. Nah, they shouldn't even have been. They shouldn't even have been throwing right there. Then Russ would have a ring. I'm saying if he didn't have a ring.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
I
like
never
sometimes you gotta put in perspective.
You would think that I was a Seattle fan when it come to that series right there, because you couldn't tell me that Seattle wasn't about to get their second ring. Just hand the ball to Marshawn and you more than likely gonna be the champ.
Yep.
But yeah, we just wanted to chop it up about Hurts because we hadn't got around to having that top conversation about Hurts yet. Not on this platform. We talk about it a lot off, but I don't have no problem with you putting Hurts at number 2. I would put him at number 2 too. But if you got him anywhere in your top 5, I'm cool with that too. Just so long, I don't see him going no lower than 5 though. If you ranking quarterbacks seriously, he shouldn't be no lower than 5.
Yeah, like I don't really got a problem with people. Like even when I seen this and I seen him at number 5, I was like, all right, bet. Like I
Yeah.
think it should be number two. But if somebody else say, you know, as long as you got them in like that top 4 to 5 range, all right. But this be my problem. A lot of times when people make the top 5 list and then they put Hurts at like 5 or something like that. I don't. It ain't that I got a problem with him being like 4 or 5. My problem is like what they be saying. A reason why they got him at 5. I'll be like, whoa, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, whoa. Like they start talking
Yeah, it'd
crazy.
be a crazy reason.
Yeah, it'd be a crazy reason. I'd be like, well, if we going based off that, then he should be like number 2 then. Like it just be. Then people want to start playing. Like I said earlier, they want to start playing the what if game. Well, I got him at number 5 because if you take him off the Eagles and put him on Jacksonville, what the hell do they got to do with? If you take him off the
It'll
Eagles and
be
put him
something
on
crazy like
Jacksonville,
that for real.
and then I seen it might have been the facility or whatever. You know, I don't even be watching the media stuff no more. But sometimes it come across my timeline or something. I might look at it, but somebody might have actually showed me this. But anyway, they was up there talking or whatever, and Dum Dum said, you know who Dum Dum is? Dum Dum on the show. He was like, yeah, I think if you take Jalen Hurts off the Eagles and put him on the Bengals, off the Eagles and put him on the Bengals, they missed the playoffs. And then Shady was like, man, they missed it with Burrow. What the It was like, what's the difference?
Man, you missed the conversation earlier about Pro Football Focus ranking my boy Swole Batman as the number 1 wide receiver.
Oh, y'all talked about it?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. But what I wanted, I had actually saw a graphic that talked about the ranking the wide receiver twos, and they ain't even had Smitty on tier 2 of the wide receiver twos. Now, me personally, I think he borderline, if not a top 10 wide receiver in the league, period. But I would listen to anybody who said he was outside of the top 10. But
Right.
I feel like Smitty, as not even putting Smitty as a top tier wide receiver two, now that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Top wide receiver. Man, look, when you talking about wide receiver twos,
I don't
it
see
might
nobody
be
better.
it might be it might be one person you can put over him. And
Who
I
you putting
wouldn't, but
over?
I'm just saying.
Possibly.
I'm saying that I can see an argument for like other people. Like when we talking about wide receiver twos, he probably the number 1 for me. I'm trying to think outside of T Higgins. I can see people putting T Higgins up there, but who else? Who another wide receiver too?
Well, if we go to ain't even proven. I can't
Uh,
even really think. So we got Waddle.
Hell nah, Waddle ain't even.
Um, wide receiver twos. Pickens ain't proven as a
Waddle
wide
can't
receiver
tie.
two yet.
Waddle can't tie Smitty's shoes.
Period. I'm drawing the blank on because I never even thought about because I don't think of Smitty as a wide receiver two, so I ain't
Yeah,
never put him
yeah,
in the category
yeah. I ain't never
with
thought
other
about it
wide
either.
receiver twos.
Yeah, me either.
I always have him like, if not in the top 10, like right outside of the top 10
Yeah, for
of
sure.
all receivers.
Exactly. Like top 15.
Yeah, I have him no lower than that. And then the other thing,
Then George Pickens, you gotta think about. We ain't seen him be a wide receiver two yet, so I can't. You know what I'm saying?
we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. We know he
And
a
as a
dog.
as a wide receiver 1, he ain't even top 10.
Because
So how the hell I'm a damn you feel me?
if we just go division, eh, it definitely ain't nobody messing with Smitty in the division. Not on the top 2 level, and borderline not even your top 1. Now, well, you got an argument when it comes to CeeDee
Hey, get back in
Lamb.
the back seat.
You got an argument when it comes to Terry McLaurin, but that's where it stopped. Them the only 2 wide receivers that I'm gonna put over Smitty, and that's just because they bona fide number ones. But outside of CeeDee Lamb and Terry McLaurin, I'm not putting nobody else above Smitty. Not in the division, especially.
Nah, I ain't for sure. Top. Oh snap. But when you talking about top wide top I was about to say top tier two. When you talking about wide receiver two top, Smitty is him.
Yeah, he might be number one and number two. The last thing that I had talked about before you got in here was the decision to keep the tush push in the game, baby. They it was close. We was 2 votes away from the way that we do the sneak being taken away. But what's your thoughts about the decision to keep it in the game for at least another season?
My bad. I heard y'all had to put her back in her car seat. Now she crying. But you said what was my thoughts? What now?
On the decision to keep the tush push in the game for
Oh,
at
yeah,
least one more
yeah, yeah.
season.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I think we might have talked about it last time, but my thing with stop. My thing with the with them keeping it was I didn't see. My thing is I don't really have a problem whether they had banned it or not. My only issue was like the reasons they kept talking about banning it. Like they just wanted to ban it because they can't stop it, and nobody actually was saying that. They was trying to bring up all this stuff about injuries and just stuff that wasn't true or that didn't matter. It don't look good. Hell, a lot of players don't look good. It ain't even about that. So I just felt like they made it. I felt like they was making it so personal. Like they was making it so personal. It just was kind of like them things like you don't want nobody to take that from you. Cause it was I seen people talking about dang, the Eagles was going hard trying to keep that play in. I think they they better than that play, whatever. It ain't even about the play. That's what people don't
Mm-mm.
understand. It ain't even about the play. It's about not letting somebody take something from you that you know what I'm saying they don't need to be taken.
I think it's mighty funny that everything that benefit the Eagles be put under a microscope or all of a sudden ain't good for the game.
What?
I think it's mighty funny that everything that benefit the Eagles um get put under a microscope and taken out of the game. That first, if you think about what happened in 2022, I was saying first when you think about what happened in 2022, when we got to the Super Bowl, now all of a sudden after that, the way that we run the RPO get changed. I bet. Then you fast forward to the tush push or the way we do the QB sneak. Then they got a problem with that. Now I don't know if you heard the reports about the way we do our contracts, but they talking about potentially changing that in the new CBA, where how Jeff Lurie pay his money up front in signing bonuses, and push the other money on the back end to keep the cap low. Basically, the way that we've been doing business for a minute could possibly be changed in the future when the new CBA come around. And it just seemed like everything that benefits us or helps us get to a championship got to be changed for some reason. And that's crazy to me.
Every time, every doggone time.
And I ain't even no conspiracy theorist type person, but it's mighty funny that everything that benefit us gotta get changed.
I mean, you can see it as plain as day. You see it as plain as day, and everybody want to make it seem like like people crazy for pointing it out. But at the end of the day, I don't really know what it is. I don't know what people really got against. I don't know.
They act like we got 18 championships.
I know, right? Now you see how people started feeling about Kansas City.
Yeah,
They were saying
and the
everybody
Patriots.
had Kansas City fatigue. Now imagine the Eagles go to 2 straight Super Bowl and possibly
Ooh,
man, what?
end of the world.
You talking about hate? Oh my God. I want to see it though. I definitely want to I definitely want to see it.
Facts, facts. But that's pretty much everything we have for this show. We we're gonna be right back in this thing next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with some more Philly news. We're gonna go over what happened between now and then. And as always, go birds.
Go Birds.
Peace.